well, working with luxury listings, there is a certain entitlement that goes against their own interests, I think, with people that are that successful. So, and your job is to look out for their best interests in spite of themselves. So it's very important we assert our will. Hi, this is Brian Icenhower, and I'm excited to be here with George Corey. George is a good friend of mine. He's also a longtime coaching client of mine. George, thanks for being on this today.
Thank you for having me over. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, George and I actually had the pleasure of doing some fishing together. We went and caught a bunch of mahi-mahi off the Florida Keys just a few months ago, and that's where some of these conversations took place. And I said, man, we got to get some of this on video, so everybody else can learn from it. So George, thanks for taking some time and doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate your coaching and your guidance all this time.
No, hey, it's my pleasure. So George is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? And George is a successful agent down there. And George is a luxury listing agent. Okay, so George, is real common for George to list properties from anywhere from $1 million to $6-7 million sales price, and that's kind of the game he's used to playing in. But George hasn't always been in that price range. I mean, there was a time when George sold lower priced homes. Those do exist in Fort Lauderdale, Florida too. In fact, the majority of them are, but he always wanted to increase that price. So that's one of the things we've been working through in coaching, is how to target those neighborhoods and how to really break into those neighborhoods so that he just becomes a luxury agent and makes a lot more money without doing as much work selling a lot of lower priced homes. And that's worked well. Can you briefly tell them a little bit about how you've broken into that market to up your price and how that's worked for you, George?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, there's two ways of working out. Working your way into luxury market. The first way is really to really start increasing your price point towards the $800,000, which is not really that hard here in Fort Lauderdale. And eventually, these clients will end up selling with the appreciation to tap you into the $1 million. That's more of a long term. And again, we spoke about this a while ago. But the way we set this up really to be more effective and to be much faster was through farming. So I was able to get one listing in one area here in Fort Lauderdale. We set up a farming area where I was sending them mailer reports. I was making calls as well, and I set them up on the e-alert with my CRM system. So the goal was really to be first in mind whenever anything happened in their neighborhood, from listing going on the market to pending to sold. And I was sending the reports as well, which is four pages pretty much on a thick paper, very luxurious report. So I send those to the same 1,000 houses pretty much every other month. I was sending those reports. So from that, when I sold the first listing over there, I started sending as well emails and mailers asking clients and sellers, specifically if they want to sell, because we have, a bunch of buyers looking to locate into that neighborhood, waterfront. I picked up one listing from that for $1.7 million. That already is under contract. So from that, we start pretty much farming those areas and, show ourselves as the expert in that area. One more thing as well we did, which is very, 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 very useful. We got a domain name with the areas, like for example, Pompano Beach properties or, waterfrontproperty.com, where we link that to our CRM system, which is Boomtown. That helped a lot as well. So
we can put those on signs, on riders, we can advertise that URL on mailers.
Everywhere.
It further establishes you as the expert, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, people were calling me pretty much as if I've been, working that area for years. And in reality, it wasn't really, the most recent farm neighborhood I started doing, it's about a year old. Right. So, and yet, we have a lot of market share in that neighborhood already within really 1 year. So, we got about 3 or 4 listings in the same neighborhood out of maybe like 10. So that's why 30 to 40% market share in one neighborhood by applying pretty much those techniques and being consistent with the mailer, the report, the phone calls, and the CRM system as well.
Right, and that's what's been working for you, and that's putting those just listed, those just solds, those open houses, those pendings in mailers and emails, always staying in front, always evidencing your success. All of a sudden, overnight, you look like the expert of choice, and now you're selling multi-million-dollar houses regularly. And that comes with it. This is what we also talked about on the boat out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We were talking about, of course, luxury listing objections that you're getting, because now we're into a new area talking about, luxury listings. So what are some of the objections you wanted to talk about? We said we're going to do this on video though, so that's what we're doing. So
yeah, absolutely. So, it is, a little bit different. I mean, for the most part, it's kind of a second objection. You have the price point, which comes pretty much on every single conversation, why this price, but the most recent objection really that I kind of found hard time with, specifically in that new farm I've been doing, because the people who live there are very old school. So older people in their 60s and plus, they're I started doing open houses, which first they believe it doesn't work, which it did work for us on multiple occasions. But the most recent actually objection, which was a little bit weird, that the seller was kind of doubting the client I was bringing in. Like he was kind of judging them based on their appearance. He's like, I'm not sure if those clients can afford this kind of property, so it was like more of the appearance, part, number one. Number two, it was like, he got tired. He's like, I don't want more realtor here. I just want you to sell the house, yourself, and bring the qualified buyers in here. So that was what I really wanted to know, how to handle that part, because, it's not very common to hear these kind of comments.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, as my job for you, my job is to get you the highest price possible. Okay. And the way we do that is by getting you the most exposure profit as possible. So my job is to get as many people as possible that are qualified to come see your home. The more people we get to come see your home, the more increased likelihood we're going to get multiple offers on the house. Okay. So understand, I am marketing out there, not just to buyers directly. This is probably the most important thing to say, is I am actually marketing to other agents even more than the general public. Because 94% of home buyers use an agent to buy a home. So the way and this is when people try to negotiate commissions down, this is what I always tell them, it's the same objection. We as agents market to other agents more than we do the general public. Okay. So we are trying to get other agents to bring their clients to your house. So we want to keep them happy. That's why we want to pay them a commission. Okay. So we need to market to them, and we need to trust that they don't want to waste their time with non-qualified buyers either. Okay. So we're all in the same boat. I don't want to waste the time. The other agent doesn't want to waste the time. The other agent, another objection in here that we always hear is, well, I want you, Brian, to be present. Actually, I don't sell real estate anymore, but I want you, Brian, to be present while the home is shown. Well, I tell them, well, heck no. That's the last thing anybody wants. I mean, can you as a buyer's agent want the listing agent present? No way. We want to make sure that they stay in the home for a long time, that they feel comfortable asking questions, saying negative things about the home, whatever keeps them in the home as long as possible. They can't speak freely if I'm there. They're going to be negotiating against me later. So they have to hide all their motivation, and they're going to have to hurry and get out of the house and talk about it later. That's why it's a cardinal sin for the listing agent to be present when the buyer's agent's showing the property. So we stay out of their way to give them time.
Now imagine if the seller is actually in the property.
That's the worst possible. Yeah. You have to go take a shower or something. I mean, that's just horrible. Yeah.
The most recent seller we're actually talking about, the guy talking about on that boat trip, I mean, I ended up pretty much shutting down. Listen, it's not gonna work out the way you want to work it out. Like, you hired me for this job. You have to trust my judgment. And we had to pretty much get him out of the house while the property is being shown, because otherwise, the even the things the detail he was giving the buyer,
Yeah.
About the city and the hard time they gave him and all of that, it's like it was a mess. So
Well,
we
yeah, I'll tell you. Well, working with luxury listings, there is a certain entitlement that goes against their own interests, I think, with people that are that successful. So, and your job is to look out for their best interests in spite of themselves. So it's very important we assert our will. Just like when they go to a doctor, they tell the doctor, hey, I need to be able to smoke cigarettes, or I need to be able to drink alcohol. A good doctor is not going to listen to that. I said, no, you don't. What are you talking about? I'm the doctor. You're not the doctor. And a good real estate agent has to be able to do the same thing. You have to be able to assert your will so that you are able to do your job. That's what they're paying you for.
Absolutely.
So customer service is not about always doing what they want. That is for darn sure. It's about doing what's in their best interest. And they don't always know that. That's why you're there. That's why you're there. George, thank you for being with us today. I really appreciate you taking the time. It is so fun to be able to work with you. I can't wait to see how we continue to move forward in the future.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, and believe me, your help, has been, got us actually cut the time that we were supposed to be working to get as far as now and maybe 110. So I appreciate your help, and looking forward to dominating more areas in the future.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if any of you are real estate agents out there listening, this is the #1 agent in the Fort Lauderdale area. So send your business his way if you got clients that are buying or selling in Fort Lauderdale. That's for sure. So awesome. Thanks, George.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Bye.